Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Robin Armbrecht at Really Robin Stamps and you are joining me for Paper Crafting Playdate. This is episode 37. Crazy. So today is October 22nd, 2021 and I am so glad that you are here. I go live on my Facebook page, which is Really Robin Stamps, and I go live every Friday around 1 in the afternoon, and that is Central Time. And then I upload my video to YouTube. So whether you're watching this live on Facebook or watching on YouTube later, I am just so thrilled you are here. Now, if you want to catch me live, you have to follow my Facebook page for now until I get brave enough to go live on YouTube. And then after you follow it, go ahead and adjust your notifications and you'll get a notification that I go live. So you can also do that while you're watching the video. Apparently there's a little bell icon that you can get notifications for. All right, so today we're going to do a stamping technique called inlaid die cutting. And this is a really fun, easy technique that I think you're going to really like. So let's get started. All right, I'm going to flip the camera around. All right, say hello, leave me a message, tell me where you're from, and all that good stuff that I appreciate so very much. I love having you join me every Friday. All right, let me get this little thing situated here. See if we're straight, zoom in a little bit. There we go. Okay. All right, let me check the comments. Hi, Pat. Thanks for joining me live today. Appreciate it. And I'm going to share this to my Facebook group called Robin's Really Super Stampers. So if you ever want to be a part of a stamping group, you can find that on Facebook as well. Okay, good deal. All right, I've got some happy mail to share with you today. I got this fun little card from Claire, and she sent me this card after I had mailed her a little card making kit, and she put her own wonderful design on this and used so much beautiful glimmer paper. It just makes me so happy every time that I see it. So thank you, Claire. I love this card. I got a couple Halloween cards today. Not today, this week, and this is from my friend Marianne from Idaho, and she created this fun little Halloween card. I love this technique where you mask your paper and then you do some sponging and you create a moon. Hello, Lynn. Good afternoon to you. I can tell you the very first time I went to a Stampin' Up! Party, and this was in, oh boy, 1997 maybe, perhaps. And stamping was, just practically getting started back then. And the demonstrator at the time, she did this technique. We made a Halloween card. Actually, I don't even think we got to make the card. We watched her do it. She masked a little circle that she had punched out on a piece of paper, and she sponged around it, created a moon, and then she stamped a witch flying across the moon, and that was it. There's no coloring, nothing, and we were all so stunned by the amazingness of what you can do with stamps. I have such a good memory of that, and like you say, the rest is history, right? I was completely hooked, so it doesn't take much. So thank you, Marianne. I love this Halloween card. And then I got a Halloween card from my friend Anne, and she made a never-ending card. Have you guys seen this before? Hi, Sue. It's called a never-ending card because it just keeps folding like that, and it brings you all the way back to the beginning. Isn't that amazing? This always makes me want to sing that song from that show I used to watch when I was little, but I'm not going to start it. But if you know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry, I probably created an earworm for you. I love this. Anne, thank you so much. This made my whole day. How fun to get 2 Halloween cards in the mail. So I had talked to you about Marianne last week, and because I actually got 2 cards from her in 2 weeks. Like, how thrilling, right? She sent me this cute little joy fold card with the squirrel, and I told you about how squirrels were really special in their family. And this is the book that her husband wrote for their granddaughter. And it's all about the story about Earl the squirrel. And it's a little chapter book, which is just, the story is delightful. You will love this. You can get this on Amazon, and so I'll find the link and I'll link it to the post, and I'll link it in the description box on YouTube, just in case you're interested in that. So that is my friend Marianne. And then I got a card today all the way from Australia, which is a first for me, right? I have a new friend, Lynn, and she reached out to me because of me making these videos and posting them on YouTube. And we have become pen pals, and I am learning so much about Australia and Lynn, and it's just been so cool to have a pen pal. Anyway, she sent me this card yesterday. I want you to get a good close look at this amazing card. She used the beautiful cone flower from Nature's Meadow, Nature's Harp. Oh, that fun little stamp set that's in the mini catalog. And she inlaid it into this circle. So I'm going to tell you right now, my friend in Springfield, Lynn, says, wait, wish it was me, Lynn, from Australia. Well, you know what? You're going to know how to do this card, Lynn, thanks to Lynn from Australia, because I had something completely different planned to do today. And I got this card in the mail at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. And she mailed this. She told me she mailed it September 30th. And then yesterday was October 21st. So it took all of that time, like 3 weeks to get here. So we were timing it just to see how long it would take. And as soon as I saw her card, I had to completely switch gears. I had to make all new, designs, because I wanted to share this fun technique. It's just so brilliant. Lynn, thank you so much for this card, your inspiration, and your friendship. All right, so let's get going here. I'm going to show you the basic technique first, and we're going to use some very fun dies that are really perfect for this technique. So all that you need for this technique called inlaid die cutting is you need dies and cardstock. So we like that, right? It's super, super easy. And in fact, the pieces that you need to put this together are basically your card base. And then you need a quarter sheet that's trimmed. So my card base is 5.5 by 8.5. And then the trimmed quarter is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then you need some dies, and then you need assorted other pieces to insert. So the word inlaid, you think of that when you're thinking of like tile or marble or like wood, and it's just simply like the definition of it is just something that is set into another surface to create a decorative design, okay? So we are going to do this very, very simply with these dies. So let me show you where they're from, because this is pretty, this is pretty amazing. All right, so these dies that I'm using right here are from a set called Picture This. It's on page 164 in the annual catalog. And you get these two. So one has circles, one has rectangles. And one is stitched, and then one has this kind of like longer stitched pattern. So I'm going to use the circles first. And so on your quarter sheet, you need to cut out a shape. So you can literally use any kind of shape, design, pattern, any die that you have, really. It works really well. And so I'm going to cut those out. And I'm using basic black and basic white today for the basics of this card. So when you pull this out, it just pops out all these little circles, okay? So, I don't know if you can see this, but the circles that get popped out also have stitching. So this is hard to see on black, but you'll be able to see it in a minute, I think, when I do this. All right, so the circles that are left in the paper have stitching, and then the circles that come out have stitching. So it's really a very useful die because you can use these for little greetings too. And you've got all different sizes of circles. So what I did is I took some designer series paper and I picked 4 pieces. That is from the Hostess pack of paper that is called Pattern Party. So this is something hostesses can purchase with their Hostess dollars for $18. You get 48 sheets, and then one side of all these sheets are black and white, and then the other side all has these really pretty, fun, easy to work with patterns. So I cut out the patterns and I did them the same size as this trimmed quarter. So I did one in white, and I did one in the buffalo check, and I did one in that pattern, and then the polka dot, this little stripe, and then of course the black. And so what this gave me is all these little piles of these delightful little circles. This is driving me crazy. Let's move that up here. All right, so I've got all these choices, right? And so now what we're gonna do is we're going to inlay them into the hole. So we're gonna put some different circles back in. It's very simple. So the first thing you wanna do once you cut out your die is you wanna attach that to the front of the card. And that'll give you the space that you need to inlay the others. So I want this to lay flat, so I'm just gonna kind of go around those circles. Okay, why are my comments not showing up? There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hi, Susan. Oh, I'm so glad you caught me live today. Okay. So we attach that, and now we just have to decide what do we want to put back in here. And I'm going to do one white one back because that's going to be where my greeting is. And then we just have to play. We just have to pick what we want to put back in there. Like that. Let's see. Let's put this one here, and then we'll do another one of those. Okay? Super easy. So once you decide what you want to do, then you can just pop them back in and glue them in. Like I said, this is the very basic way to do this. Hi, Wanda. I'm going to use this little thank you greeting that comes from the colored and contoured stamp set. It's right here, this thank you for everything. And so let's glue these back in. Black and white is just so satisfying, right? Now, of course, I could just flip these over and use the colored side, and that would be really cute too. And then one more. Oh, Wanda, you just got this one. You're going to love this. This makes such just easy, nice, brilliant looking cards. This one is just a little bit crooked. I want my stripes a little bit straighter. There we go. All right, so now that's filled in. So we have inlaid right? Our other decorative pieces inside something else that was cut out. So all we really need is just a tiny little embellishment. And let's see, I made a little bow out of the gingham, black and white gingham. So let's put that on there. And then there we go. Card number 1 done. Now, since I have all of these cut out, right, and all of these extra circles, I'm going to go back and I'm going to make all these other cards and just mix and match. Let me show you how this works with the other die that comes in this picture, this die set. So like I said, there's circles and rectangles. So these are the circles. I can't wait to just therapeutically do all of that. So the other die are the rectangles. And so I took the Heartwarming Hugs Designer Series paper for Christmas. And then I took those, I took Pear Pizzazz and then the, I think, 4 colors of Designer Series paper and was able to make 6 cards by just mixing and matching all the pieces that I cut out. So that worked out really, really well. It was super easy to do and, you know, really very quick to do. What do you think about those? Easy, right? When you've got the stitched effect with your dies, which there's, I know you have a lot of stitched dies, it just really adds even something a little bit extra because it looks a little bit like quilting. It just adds this really nice finished look. So let me, I don't know if you could see this better now if I hold this one up. You can see all the pretty stitching on there. So pretty. Quick and easy. All right, so this is your basic inlaid die cutting technique. I'll put those aside for a minute. So one of the things I think that is very satisfying about this technique is that it's like making a puzzle, except you don't have to search for the pieces ahead of time. You just already have all the pieces and you get to just do that really fun, satisfying putting them all together. So let's do this again and let's create our own template with another set of dies. And so here are the basic pieces that I need. I'm going to use shaded spruce for both the trimmed quarter and the card base. Okay, so I would like to use my stitched stars. The stitched stars are on page 166, right here. So many stars, beautiful. And they are also double stitched so that the negative image that you get also has a stitch line. So that's really helpful. You get kind of double your money there. So we're going to use our stars and we're just going to create our own little pattern on the front. But before we do that, we're going to take a background stamp and I'm going to use this beautiful background stamp with shaded spruce ink. And we're just going to add some interest to our cardstock here by giving it a background. I love this background stamp. It can overlap. It just, oh my goodness, it's so pretty. Okay. So we're going to give it that nice alcohol ink look. And then we're going to cut our own design. So I'm going to take 3 of the stitch stars and just lay them on the front of the card like that. And then we'll cut that out. Has anybody done this technique before? Hi, Lisa. The really cool thing about this is that you've got these little pieces that you don't need on this card, but then it kind of sets you up for a second bonus card because you got to use these beautiful pieces that you just cut out, right? So those are going to go to the side. So what I've done ahead of time is I took these same stars and I cut them out of designer series paper. So here's how you can refill with some designer series paper and make your own kind of pattern. So let's attach this to our card front or card base. I'm going to do tone on tone. What is everyone up to on this beautiful fall day? Leave me a comment about what's going on with you. Okay, so I attached that. And now we're just going to insert these beautiful cut out dies. And this is from the Expressions in Ink Designer Series paper, right? If you're like me, when I see this paper, I always think of the pink color, and it's so beautiful. But there's just really pretty greens in this paper as well. Oh, that's so pretty. Now the thing, when you inlay designer series paper into a cardstock background, is that the the depth, the thickness of the designer series paper is a little bit less than the cardstock. And so, you know what? I should do it this way. I'm just going to put a little tiny dot of glue in all of the little tips of the star there, and that will help that to lay down better. What I was trying to explain is that if you're using designer series paper, the thickness is a little bit different than cardstock. So you will have just a slight little, they're not going to match up exactly, but it really doesn't matter. If you wanted to, you could take your designer series paper and you could attach it to some basic white first before you die cut the stars, and then your inlaid pieces would be the exact same, thickness. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. I went for the quick and easy. What do you think? Isn't that pretty? So we're going to just make this a simple birthday card, and I'm going to take the happy birthday from this stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it on a little piece of white. Like that, and then we're going to just give it a little flag at the end. And attach that on the front. Okay, I hope you're thinking about what dies you have right now and which ones that you want to try first with this, because really you can use any of them. I just have to give it a little thought and think about, okay, what would look really pretty to put together? All right, very easy. All right, let's put these stars away. Add just a little bit of these gold metallic dots to kind of put some little bit more gold on this card. Like that. All right, there's card number 2. That green is so pretty. Okay, so we've done cardstock, and we've kind of inlaid with designer series paper. So let's switch gears just a little bit, and let's use designer series paper as our trimmed quarter. So let's pull in some Coastal Cabana, and then we'll use a piece of designer series paper. So this is from the same Hostess pack, the pattern parties, but I'm going to use the colorful side this time. So I want this to because designer series paper is thinner, I want it to be a little bit thicker for this technique. So I'm going to attach it to basic white, like I just kind of talked about first. And then we're going to cut a circle in the front, and then we're going to use some of the little letters that come in this Playful Alphabet die set. And so I'm going to use the letters that spell hi. And then we're going to inlay a different color, and I'm going to pick this beautiful Granny Apple green color. So let's bring Mrs. Cut Boss back in. All right, so we're going to cut a circle. Now, because of how this works here, we can go ahead and do our circle and our dies at the same time, because I'm not going to insert a different color cardstock back into this circle. I could pick any one of those colors and insert that back in, but I'm going to just do something a little bit different. So I'm going to cut these at the same time. Okay, so I'm just lining up H and I, and then a little exclamation point. Maybe. All right, I think we're just about straight there. Whoops, that was sticky. That didn't help. Okay, so let's do this. All right, I got a little adhesive here. You know what? I totally did this wrong. Oh my goodness. Well, maybe we'll do this then. I'll have to show you my other sample. I got way ahead of myself. All right, so I was supposed to, this is kind of called a twisted inlaid, okay? So this is where you put the same piece of like pattern paper back into the hole, and then you turn it. But I was supposed to turn it before I did the alphabet, but that's okay. We're going to actually make it this way, and then I'll show you my original version. So what I should have done, okay, is before I put the letters in there, I was going to twist this. Look how fun that is. I was going to twist it diagonal to those stripes there, and then I was going to do the hi. All right. But I got so excited, I just didn't. So let's put this card together this way, because this will still be very cute. And then I'll show you my sample where I did actually twist it first. Okay, I'm going to put adhesive around that circle so that it also is nice and tight to the card front. And then I'm going to put adhesive in here. And we'll carefully put this back in. And then we'll attach the high. Like that. Okay, that's still very cute. And of course this one now, I can take the green letters that I had originally decided that I was going to use. I pre-cut those already, and I can pop those back into here. And then this can be another whole separate card, right? You get the idea. So let's just finish this one. That way I can send it. I used the Flowers and Leaves punch, one of my very favorite punches. And I punched out some coordinating flowers. So we're going to add those just to make that kind of exciting. These flowers are so fun to work with. I'm just going to give them a little bit of dimension by taking my bone folder and just pulling those petals up. So this is Mango Melody and Bermuda Bay and Flirty Flamingo. And we'll stick those onto the front. Like that. And I've got these pretty little sequins, and so we'll add some of those. All right, simple little card. And we're going to save that because that's going to make a cute little bonus card here. Now let me show you what I had meant to do. I was going to do, again, I was going to show you the twisted version. So that's where you put your same pattern back in, but you turn it so that the pattern is going in a different direction. And then I was going to put the Granny Apple Green in there. I just added a little bit of the sparkly crystal effects on top of those letters just to give them a little shine. So that is a twisted inlay die cutting. I did not get to make any more samples with this particular twisted version because, as I told you, I switched gears like so late in the afternoon yesterday. But I will, because my head is like spinning with all the different fun little kind of stripey patterns. All right, so this is the bonus card I made when I did this card. I flipped it. I used this little, what came out of there, and I put it in a little black and just made another little, this is my bonus card, is what I'm trying to say. All right, so let's kick it up just a little bit. And we'll try to get back to the beautifulness that is Lynn's card. And let me show you that again. What did I do with it? Here it is. So Lynn's card is super artistic, okay? Because not only did she inlay this beautiful flower into the circle, but she also was able to like line it up with the edge of the circle. It's just beautiful. It's just gorgeous, right? It's very, very artistic. Lynn is amazing. She's a great stamper. All right, so we're going to do a little bit stepped up version where we're going to do a little bit more work to it. All right, so here are our starting card pieces. Remember, you need a card base, and then you need that trimmed quarter sheet. And then I've got my pieces that I'm going to use for my inlay. And I have to show you that I was working with a new fall color combination. I think I showed you a hint of this a few weeks ago. This was a color combination that one of my downline Donna came up with. And So Saffron, Cherry Cobbler, Pumpkin Pie, and Crumb Cake. Now, honestly, I hate it when these colors come together because it makes me hungry. Like, they're like the most delicious food named colors. But how fun is that fall color combination? So that's what inspired the colors for this card. And I wanted to play with last year's leaf set that was called Love of Leaves, that was bundled with these stitched leaves. And these are so much fun. So I know a lot of you have these too, so you need to get them back out. The stitched leaves are on page 165 in the catalog. And you get all these different leaf shapes here. Sorry, that's not a very good view, is it? Right here. Stitched leaves. So we're going to play with those. And we're going to do kind of multiple steps here. So I'm going to use a stitched rectangle. And I'm going to use these two stitched leaves for our card. So let me just show you where we're going so that you can kind of see the beginning and end of this process. Okay, so here's the card we're going to make. So we're going to inlay these leaves through another shape. Okay, so you can use any label die that you have or any shaped die. So the first thing that you do is you're going to cut your main shape, which is going to be our rectangle. Hi, Margie. Happy Friday. All right, so I've got, I'm using thick Very Vanilla, and we're going to kind of center that offset. I'm centering it top and bottom and then putting it kind of offset a little bit. Okay, so let's do this first. We are also going to throw in some embossing with this, okay? All right, so here's our first step. We're gonna cut that shape out, and if that shape pops out, just put it right back in. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the inlaid dies and we're gonna put them where we want them. Like that. So my goal here is I'm just trying to get some of that other stitched leaf. I want it to hang outside of the rectangle, but be mostly inside the rectangle. So now we'll cut those out. Okay, so the pieces that come out here for those leaves aren't going to be usable. So we're just going to take those out. So this is what you have now. You've got these holes that you're going to inlay into, right? All right, so I'm going to take this center out because I want to emboss this little frame. Just to kind of step it up a little bit more. And I'm going to actually add this strip of Cherry Cobbler first. So you see me do this technique a lot where I put pattern paper or cardstock, I glue that on and then emboss with an embossing folder. I guess I never really called it anything. I don't know. Anyway, while I was doing my research for this technique, I came across people calling this technique inlaid embossing, which I thought, well, that's fairly accurate, right? Because when you use this embossing folder to emboss cardstock or pattern paper, kind of, I always call it melting it into the cardstock, but you are kind of inlaying it in a way with your embossing folder. It's almost like a faux inlaid technique. So I'm going to use the Timber 3D folder so that we can get some nice like bark lines on there. You're gonna love this. This is so pretty. Okay, so when that comes out, you've got this beautiful inlaid embossing with this piece here. Now before I put Mrs. Cut Boss away here, let's do our leaves. So these are the pieces now that we want to inlay into that frame, and so we're going to do one leaf in Pumpkin Pie and one leaf in So Saffron. And this stitched leaves die set is really cool because it has these extra inserts for all the leaves that give the leaves just a little bit of stitched effect to show the veins of the leaves. And so you can use them with or without, which I think is really handy. So I'm going to insert those little dies there, and they don't cut, they just leave a stitched effect. Okay, let's put that to the side. So let's assemble our card. So here are our pieces. We've got our little leaves in Pumpkin Pie and So Saffron. Got our insert. I'm telling you, this is the best kind of puzzle ever. I want, so this is already, because we embossed this, this is already going to stand out really well. And I could take a piece of designer series paper or a different color, and, you know, I could have cut that out in a different color before I did that step, right? But I kind of liked the idea of this, of using the same piece, but I want to just make it just even a little bit more different. And so I'm going to take a blending brush with my crumb cake ink, and I'm just going to kind of give this embossed cardstock just a little hint of color with the blending brush and some ink. So it'll just kind of even give it a little bit more of a difference between the insert. It also, when you do this with an embossing folder, it kind of highlights some of those embossing lines a little bit. It looks really pretty. Okay, so let's attach this to our card front. Actually, what I'm going to do first, before I do that, I'm going to attach my ribbon so that I can trim the ends of the ribbon. I'm going to use the black and white gingham ribbon again. I'm just going to add, I'm going to make it look like I wrapped it around, but I'm not really going to wrap it around. So I'm going to put a whole line of black and white gingham this way. And we'll put one here on the end. Okay, now we'll attach it to the card front and then put our inlaid design in. It does, Susan. She said that ribbon goes with everything. It absolutely does. Definitely get yourself some of this ribbon. Every time I order, I want to order another roll just because I'm really worried I'm going to run out. I'm going to stamp my greeting on here, and I'm going to take one of the greetings from this stamp set, Love of Leaves. Your friendship is something I know I can count on. I love that sentiment. Okay, we'll put this inside. Like that. And then we'll add our leaves. So it's like that really great feeling when you put the last few pieces of a puzzle together and it just like finishes it off and it looks so pretty. Love it. All right, let's add a little bit more, a little knot of ribbon so that it looks like I wrapped it all the way around. Wow, my fingers are kind of sticky. It's not really conducive to using ribbon right now. We'll just stick that right there. All right, very happy with this card. That is so much fun. And let's add a couple little matte black dots and we'll just kind of bring that little pop of black onto there. Okay, card number 4. Do you guys have a favorite? Besides Lynn's card, obviously. Lynn's card is the favorite. So the first time I made this card, I didn't use any of the ink and the blending brush on the back, and it's actually beautiful as well. But you can see there's just a little bit of difference. Hi, Fran. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks, Lynn. So you can see the difference, right? I tried it again with one of the other leaves and I used a circle this time. This one I was kind of just playing with, and I don't know if you can tell how the embossing folder looks different on this one. And the reason is because I sent it back through, I embossed it too early. And then when I sent it back through to cut the hole in the leaf, it pressed some of the embossing down. But it still has a really neat effect. So if you have any 3D folders, right, and it's too embossed for you, you can send it back through, you know, without cutting anything. Just send it back through your Big Shot. It'll kind of smush it down a little bit and it won't be so etched into your cardstock, but it'll still give you a nice pattern. This is a fun color combination. These are all great colors I'm sure that you have, and make sure you get them out and play with them. All right, let's bring back all the cards. Let's have a little vote here. What do we like? Got that one. And where is our twisted here? Twisted friend. What do you guys think? Does anybody have a favorite? Honestly, I don't know. I can't pick one because I love this green is really speaking to me today. But this little leaf card's probably the favorite. I don't know. This really makes me happy too, this little twisted stripe here. Oh, you guys, it's just, I guess we just like them all. We just have to like them all, right? Oh, Jonna, sorry. Jonna says black and white. Yep, Susan says it's fall, so you got to go with fall. Absolutely. Liz, you can't choose. Thank you. You're so sweet. Thanks, Sue. They are all different, right? And I could have kept going too, because there's a couple other little tweaks like this to the technique where you can like raise up some words, and yeah, I could have kept going for another 3 days. So I'm going to keep playing with this technique too, and I hope that you guys too. Before you go, don't forget that there's 1 week left in October, and my order special for October is the holiday card making kit. So with a $50 order using the Hostess code for October, you get all these supplies to make 10 card fronts to go on your little card bases, so that you can use this pattern called Double One Sheet Wonder to create 10 quick cards. So don't forget about that. And coming soon in November, there's going to be a little bundle that's going to be released called Eden's Garden. And it's a kind of a sneak peek from the next mini catalog, but it has some elements to the bundle that won't be available. So there's just kind of a time thing. And so there's going to be a stamp set and a die set that go together with some paper and gems, and it's very pretty, very green. If you're a green girl, you're going to love this paper. You're going to love it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching today. I appreciate all your lovely comments, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Happy stamping. Bye.